Hi, and welcome to Our Flying Adventures. It's all about the journey. I was asked to do a presentation at the Commander Owner Group annual fly-in. This year was in Jekyll Island, Georgia. I did not video live at that event, so I am going to go over the slideshow and narrate pretty much along the same lines so that I can post it on to my blog and on YouTube. Let's just go over a little bit of information about me. I obtained my private pilot license in 2006 and my IFR in 2010. I fly a 1976 Commander 112A. Single engine land rating, instrument rated. Social media presence. I have a YouTube channel and I have a blog that I maintain. Those are the two addresses where you can find them. On YouTube, you can just go type in Our Flying Adventures and it'll bring you there. I also have a presence on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Instagram, you can type in G Maselli, Facebook, G Maselli, and Twitter, G Maselli. Facebook, you can also type in Our Flying Adventures. I keep 2 pages there. I don't do much on Twitter at all except to upload my videos. Pretty much the same thing on Instagram. Facebook, I keep a presence because of all the other pilots and friends that I have. So, just a little rundown on that information. So this presentation is going to be about flying videos, the basics. This mainly covers the equipment and software and things that I use that I'm familiar with, which is enough to get somebody started if that is their interest. There are 3 of the topics here: equipment, video and audio, a lot of different cameras, different ways to record your audio, editing software. There's a lot of free samples out there that you can use once you find something that you like or get comfortable with. You can make a purchase, and I'll cover a few of the ones that I have. And last but not least, why do you want a video? Lots of different reasons out there, and we'll get into that. Let's take a look at equipment first. What devices for recording do you want to use? There's a lot of different types of equipment. Price range is all over the place. You want new? Do you want used? These are things that we're going to look at. What mounting systems? Again, many choices, varying price range. What works best for you and what are you comfortable with? But the most important topic I think we'll talk about is how you charge your batteries. The cameras of today maybe take an hour, hour and a half charge. There's a few that have extended batteries. We'll look into those. And some different uses for these battery packs, or bricks as people call them. So that's something that we want to talk about. And again, I think that's the most important part of doing any video work, is how you're going to keep those batteries charged. You don't want to be changing batteries in flight. Once the wheels are up, you're a pilot. You're not a cameraman or the technical director or anything like that. You need to fly the plane. All right, let's take a look at what I started out with. The Garmin VIRB XE. It was given to me by my lovely bride for Christmas. It had an aviation package. And as you can see on the right-hand side there, the Garmin has the prop filter on it. The one on the top left does not. It has the audio cables, all different kinds of mounts, great camera. It has built-in Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, image stabilization, very important, and HD audio, which is fantastic. I do all my recording through the Garmin VIRB. You can pick these up used on Amazon. At the time I did the presentation, they were going for around $300. eBay, I found one used for $150. Great camera, can't say enough good about it. Battery life, yeah, hour, hour and a half. We'll have to circle back to how to charge batteries. Second camera that I bought, and I have two of them now. The first one I dropped and broke the back lens where you see the little guy on the bike, the little viewing section, but it still works like a champ. Now, these are LCD touchscreens. They have image stabilization. They have built-in Wi-Fi. You can pick these up on Amazon for 50 bucks. I think I bought mine new for 50 bucks. They come with that case pictured on the bottom camera and some mounting hardware. Camera works great, records fantastic. Audio stinks. I wouldn't recommend them to record any audio. But a good camera to be out on a tail tie down or a wing mount. You want to use it as a crew cam, a wing view cam. Those things work great. Again, you will have to keep them charged. You only get about an hour battery life out of these. Alright, I recently picked up a GoPro Hero 4. Just wanted to experiment with those. These seem to be the most popular out on the market. I like the Hero 4. It works great. I bought mine on eBay used. I think I probably paid right around $80. It came with the hard plastic container. No SD RAM, and I think it had just one battery, maybe one extra battery. Great little camera, easy to use. It has, I believe this one has the image stabilization, but it does a good job. Now, a lot of people use the GoPro to capture their audio. I do not. However, when I use it as a wing camera, I put it on the right side because people have asked for engine noise. That does a great job capturing that ambient sound, and then I can just tone it up or down to where I need it. So, camera's been useful. They do have extended life batteries on these. I haven't really used one because I always plug my power battery packs in, or as some people call them, the power bricks. So I never really ran the whole battery down on that, but something that I probably should do. Recently I also purchased a Drift Ghost X. Excellent camera, 5-hour battery life, and it has a battery that provides an 8-hour battery life, which is amazing. The 8-hour battery, I recently purchased one and I used it on my trip to Jekyll Island. I turned it on before I even started the plane. I had set the camera up on the tail. I did my final walk around, turned the camera on, then I climbed aboard, got things started, let the oil warm up, set up my other cameras inside. The whole time this camera's running. Flew to Jekyll Island, still had plenty of battery space on the 8-hour. And that was probably 5 hours worth of flying because of 40 to 46 knot headwinds. So the 8-hour battery is fantastic. Now, as you see by the little triangle on that bottom camera, that lets you know the setup of the lens. You can turn it to either side so that lens rotates. You can easily align your shots. It does come in handy. Video tagging, clone mode, DVR mode, I don't use any of that. I have no use for it. I don't use anything that'll eat up more battery. Although now with the 8-hour battery, it's really nice. I have a 5-hour battery also, so that really helps. Now, I use this camera as a crew cam. Did a great job. I use it as my tail tie-down camera now. Excellent job. Great battery life. Set it and forget it. I tried it as a wing view camera, and when I replayed the video, it looked like I was flying through the world of Jello. It was a mess. So I was like, what did I do wrong? Did I set something up wrong? Went back and read all the information on it, and as you can see down at the bottom, there is no image stabilization on this model. This was the basic model I bought from Amazon for $99, brand new. So for 99 bucks, it does a great job. I just won't use it on my wing mounts, or the window mounting for the wing view, I should say. But other than that, camera's easy to use. I have 128 gigabyte SD RAM in it, so it can record 8 hours without a problem. All right, audio. What do you want your viewers to hear? My personal favorite is ATC and intercom. I want to hear the clearance. I want to hear my readback. I want to hear the final approach that they give me. The information. PTAC is what most people say. Your position, the turn, altitude, and your clearance. That's the stuff that I like. I like the ATC interactions. So that's my number one. Intercom. Always good to have. It's good for when you're training. It it works great for some of the comments that come out with new people flying. One time when my wife and I were flying back from Ithaca, New York, we were flying at, I think, an even altitude because we were heading down towards Dover. They dropped us back into the into IMC at 4,000, and that was to clear Philly's routing. And they gave another plane another altitude, and it was the wrong altitude for the direction it was flying. Maybe they needed them there, I don't know. But my wife piped up and said, that's the wrong altitude for that direction. East is the odd numbers, and west is the even numbers. So it was nice to catch that on the intercom a second time reviewing the video and hear her pop that one out. Amazing the things that she comes out with. Next up is engine noise. Now, a lot of people like hearing the engine noise. I didn't really think much of it. I've had a lot of comments. Hey, is the Commander really that quiet? No, it's not. So I now use a GoPro on the right wing, or right wing view on the window, and that provides the ambient sound for the engine noise, and I can tone it up or down whatever I need. So that really helps, and it has added something to the mix, and it gives a little bit more to the video. Next up is music, copyright issues. I don't care for music. People tend to turn it up too loud. They don't do a good mix. You're constantly changing the volume control, and I will just rather shut the video off than watch it. Probably one of the best that uses music is Aviation 101, Josh Flowers. Great job. His mix is perfect. Definitely worth listening to and watching his videos. Others, that it drowns out their ATC. You can't hear it. The music's loud. Even though the music stays at one tone, they keep it too loud. On the copyright issues, I don't worry about that because I don't monetize my channel. I could care less about that, so I don't worry about the copyright issues as much. So everybody's taste is different in the music, and whether it should be on there or not, it could go either way for me, but I choose not to use music in my videos, maybe unless I'm speeding something up and it's a real dead zone, and if I'm doing work, and I'll do that to just fill in instead of listen to everything squeak right along as I speed up the music, or speed up the video 5 or 10 times to eliminate all the boring stuff. So we'll see. Next up is the voiceover. This works great when you're doing any narrating. If you unplug the headset accidentally, at least you will have the ability to do a voiceover. I recently purchased a microphone. It's a TKGOU. Pronounce it any way you like. I bought it on Amazon for $30. Does a great job. That's what I'm using right now, and I'm very happy with it. So it's all depends. Some people use a voiceover and music, and that's all they have. So whatever works for you, that's the best thing to try. Audio connections. The aviation package came with the cable on the top left. That's for the Garmin VIRB. And then your regular headset connector will plug into that, and then plug into a headset jack, and you still have the female plug to still run a headset off that same jack. The price for the aviation package was $50. Like I said, it does a great job. I love the HD audio from the Garmin when I keep it plugged in. Next is GoPro, and I'm only adding that because now I have a GoPro camera. They have a special cable also right around $50. It plugs into a headset jack. You have the female plug to still plug a headset in. Then it plugs into your GoPro, and you have another connection right there in the middle. You can add battery power to it, which is a big plus. Some alternative ways of recording audio. Excuse me. I think Martin Pauly uses the Tascam. If anybody has watched his videos in his Bonanza, he also does a great job. The Tascam, I saw it running between $100 and $400 on Amazon. I think the DR05X was $100. A digital recorder. They use that same cable connector from the headset with the small plug that goes into the digital recorder. His audio sounds fine. Now, when you have that, you'll have to sync it to the video. I'm not sure how hard it is. I've never seen a problem with any of his videos. Next is a zoom camera made by Sweetwater, and they run between $120 and $400 depending on the model. I believe Aviation 101, Josh Flowers, uses this digital recorder. I'm not positive, but I thought I had heard him mention that. So those are just some alternates that you can throw in there and see if they work better for you. I just don't want to have to go through the extra time to sync that up and to have to purchase another piece of equipment and more cables. Again, to each their own. Alright, mounting systems. Currently I'm using a track form. I bought that for $75. It hooks to my headrest, and we'll see a picture of this later on. It bends up in all kinds of different angles. And I mount my Garmin VRB XE to that, and that shoots over my shoulder. I made a little PVC length of pipe for underneath the other headset post, or headrest post, I'm sorry, and it keeps that nice and secure and level. You can connect your camera through that little tripod screw, or add the camera connection on there with that thumb latch. It's very reliable. I think I've tightened up the little Allen screws on my headrest post once in the last couple of years, so they stay very, very tight, and you need to check them once in a while, but I haven't had any issues with them. The next is my tail tie down, and that's by My Pilot Pro. Runs about $60. Great piece of equipment, built really well. You look just over the little blue connecting bar that latches everything down tight. You'll see a neoprene washers, and then a little thumb screw in the threaded area and a clip. This thing held up really well, except for the neoprene washers. They just shredded against the tail tie down metal. So I used a little, I got rid of the neoprene. I didn't even use them as a template. I had some extra little furniture pads, the round furniture pads with the adhesive on one side. And I found one that perfectly fit the metal washer. So I mounted it on the metal washer. That worked fine. I mounted one on the bracket itself. That was fine. And I drilled them out. It worked perfect. It eats up extra vibration. Once you tighten that thumb screw down and put the clip on, you're pretty much good to go. And then you lock this blue bar down. And let me tell you, it locks down tight. It's not coming loose. And it comes with the camera mounting bracket on the bottom. You can wire tie that off if you want to for extra safety, but I use a towel and a small pair of channel locks and just give it a little extra oomph to make sure that's nice and tight. I don't know if it needs it, but it's a comfort factor for me. Again, runs about $60. For inside the plane, I use all the ram mount suction cup bases. They've been reliable. You can bend them any which direction you want. They have the ball mounts, and I use that little 4-inch socket. I think they come in a 3, 4, and 6-inch socket arm, and they work really well. That ram mount runs about $38. Again, I use these on everything, and I've had really no problems with them. I recently picked up it's made by Slow Dolphin. I picked it up on Amazon. It was $9. Best money spent. The thick rubber padding does not damage your dash pad. You can mount this with the mount on top for a forward view, or hook it up for a crew camera view, or you can flip it upside down and use it to shoot video of your GPS or over your 6-pack, or in my case the Aspen. So for $9 you can't go wrong. It's a nice piece of equipment. Alright, charging systems. The first charging system I bought was by EC Technology. 25,800 milliamp hour battery. This thing is powerful, hard to drain. I hook up my over the shoulder camera, forward facing view, and now hooking up my left wing view. It powers both of those. That was about $21. I will say I have not been able to find another one online. I don't know if they're discontinued, but it's a great battery if you can find that one. So I wanted to get a battery for my right side window view and possibly crew cam to keep those charged. And I picked up the QT Shine. It had a good rating. It's a 26,800 milliamp hour, a little bit more power than the EC Technology, but only has 2 USB ports. It worked well going to Jekyll Island. I picked that up for $24. Now, these are a must if you're going to video. You got to have power. You got to not have to change batteries in flight. I mean, you can if you want to. I don't recommend that. I don't think it's safe. I would stay with the battery power. Also, something like this is excellent to keep in your survival gear bag. I have another that we're going to show here shortly, but you throw one of these in your survival bag, or you can even keep one handy in your pocket. I'll show you the next one that I have is a little bit smaller. You know, God forbid something happens and you go down, survive. You look at your phone and you got 2 bars of battery left. You have great connection wherever you're out in the boonies and you have no battery. You pop this little bugger out and charge up. It'll charge your iPad, it'll charge your phone. For $20 to $25, it is worth that investment to protect yourself. Just my opinion. This is the little pocket one that I use. It's an Anker PowerCore 5000 milliamp hour. It does a good job. It's nice to keep in your pocket, and you can charge your iPhone or your iPad if you're in having lunch at one of your stops and you're not able to plug in somewhere, or you don't have to take all the charging equipment. It does a good job. Also, for $18, throw one in the survival bag. Can't beat it. They're worth having. Alright, why we video? Well, here's some shots taken from my videos. That's first flight. And the shot in the middle is heading northbound at sunset, Delmarva Peninsula. And that's the Ocean City Inlet, Route 50 Bridge, and Ocean City along the boardwalk. So what's your mission? It's just like when you bought a plane. You want to putz around the pattern, you buy something small, a little bit slower, doesn't eat up gas. You're not really flying anywhere. Maybe out to breakfast. Or you want a travel machine. That's going to take something different. You need something to haul the family. You want something with some speed. Maybe 2 engines. What's your mission? Same thing for videoing. Here's the things that I based my mission on. Training or flight procedure review. When I have my CFII on board, I always make sure I have the camera running. You can go back to the video, and as you can see in this slide, you can type in notes. You don't fly every week. You might want to refresh some procedures on your autopilot. I'm raising my hand here. This really helps walk you through it. You could also do the voiceover and leave yourself a note that way. So training is a big part of the videos, in my opinion, that you can really leave yourself a note, make a comment. You can always come back to that video and retrain. Or there's procedure reviews. The procedure reviews are another big part of my flying. As you can see here, Gumps check. In this video, I had put the gear down a little early and verbally said 3 green. When I entered the downwind, and I like to do Gumps check on downwind, base, and final. I'm on downwind and I said gas, both, mixture full rich, pump. I didn't even mention the prop. And instead of switches, I said landing lights on. Okay, well, all of them are basically covered. But that's where mistakes start to happen. So follow how it says. Gas, both. Undercarriage, 3 green. Mixture, full rich. Pump on, prop not yet. I wait till short final for the prop. And switches should stay as switches. It could be landing lights. It could be the airport runway lights. A host of different things, so you try and stay true to that mnemonic, and that really helps your flying. So I'm big on flight procedures and reviewing them. All right, you want to record for enjoying your flights at a later date, which Mary and I do. I like to go back and look at places we've been to. If I haven't been there in a while, you can see the departure, arrival, figure out your abort plan. Just to refresh your memory, it really works. You want to share travels with your friends and family and pilots. My family doesn't really watch the videos. Friends do, and the pilots do. It's nice to be able to offer that up. I had a friend that I fly with often, Charles. He was going into, I think, Eagle's Nest, and he had asked if I had ever been there, and I said yes. And there's a very tall tower there just off of center line if you're landing to the west. So I gave him that link, and he went to see it and review it, and he thanked me for it. So that was, you know, that video served its purpose right there, if somebody can get a quick peek on where they're going to. So it helps for that. The other is share the excitement of flying. That's important to me. The youth of today, you know, we need to bring them on board. We really do. You know, when I was younger, after breakfast, I'd grab a bat, a glove, and a ball, and I'd be gone. I'd be playing sports all day, whatever the sport was. It could be football. I'm too short to play basketball, but I did play basketball. Not high school or in any league, but I always like to shoot hoops. The kids of today play a lot of sports online, you know, through their Game Boy or whatever game software they have. A lot of them fly on VATSIM. A lot of them do ATC comms on VATSIM. Sometimes they stumble across flying videos, and that's all it takes, just to get the bug to bite them, and they can be hooked. And that's, you know, bring their parents on board. It's another potential pilot. We have to really work on bringing new blood into the hobby. Last but not least, and I was teased a lot at the Jekyll Island fly-in about trying to be a YouTube star. Well, it's funny that they said that, because the last part of my mission was, you want to be a YouTube star? No. And thank God I'm just doing the audio portion of this and not the video. I don't have the camera turned around, otherwise you'd agree. Okay, video editing. Two of the programs that I use, Wondershare, Filmora, and Movavi. Wondershare, I use the free software to begin with, same with Movavi. I've used them both, I've purchased them both. Filmora, I've become more familiar with that, just out of repetition. The annual membership was $50, and I think lifetime $80, and I think that's what I bought, which you get the updates. They have transition filters, different titles, exits, logo, text, different elements, You can have split screens, and they have pre-made split screens there. You can do a voiceover. You can do a screen capture. You can video from your webcam and put that in. It does just about everything you can think of to do in a video. You can import music. Movavi, it's an all-in-one video maker also. It does everything. Screen recorder, title, text, editor. It has the transitions. It does special effects, voiceovers. It also has split screens. I used the free trial, and I bought the... I didn't buy the lifetime. I bought the annual for $130. I don't think I've updated it since I bought it. Excuse me. But they both work a lot along the same lines. I will say that I think Movavi had better elements, like circles, arrows, things of that nature that you can use to highlight inside your video. But I've made do with the Filmora. They have a good selection also. All right. If anybody's wondering why there's a clock on this slide, I wanted to ask what people thought it took to edit down, say, an hour and a half, 2 hours of video when you go to edit. And I think somebody said 7 or 8 hours in the audience at the Jekyll Island presentation. And I guess depending on the computer, that could be right, because when I had my old ancient tower that was probably about 10 years old, it would take me 7, 8 hours. God forbid if you didn't save and you lost it and had to start over. That was not pretty in this house. I'm sure my wife can attest to that. I ended up purchasing a laptop with, it's basically set up for gaming. And to do an hour and a half, 2 hour video takes me about 3 or 4 hours now. I've learned shortcuts. I've learned that the repetitive process for intros and exits, make an MP4 file and just import them. Why keep creating them all the time? So you learn different tricks, and that helps cut the time down. But mainly I think it's because of a faster computer. Always save. All right, this is the Filmora software. And as you can see up the top, they have all your different selections: audio, media, titles, transition. Titles should be titles, text, transition, different effects, elements, and split screen. And I can't use my little pointer here, but if I could, I would show you that in the body here, where the arrow came up, is where all your files are imported. The top left, the top two are taken from my iPad, from ForeFlight. The third one in, showing the hanger, that's imported from my iPhone. Then you'll see the logo with the subscribe button. That's an exit video I made. I put it at the end of all my videos. Don't have to do it over and over and over again. Then you'll see a couple upside down videos. That's was a crew cam, and you can easily turn those around down here in the editing section. The next is a taxi out intro, which you can see on the screen. My brother-in-law shot a video of me start up and taxi out over in Hamilton, New Jersey. So I made an intro out of it. My logo bounces and rolls right into the screen, and then it all disappears. So you have a lot of different things that you can import to make your video, really work for you. Now, down in the editing section, I start out with the basic intro, and then I line up, starting with the very bottom, is my over-the-shoulder front view shot, because that takes care of my audio. So that's my baseline. Then I sync everything up with that, whether it's tail camera view, right wing view, left wing view, crew camera. I sync all of them, and I just load all the videos in, get everything lined up. Then I go through and do all my editing cuts. Now, one of the things I do, and if you can see that little tiny black box at the beginning and end of each one of those cuts, that's a transition. I like to match the transitions up where 1 minute I'm sitting there tuning the radio, and when it transitions, I'm looking out the window or my head's turned. That looks too corny for me. So I try and find myself in the same position. usually hands down flying instead of touching anything. But after watching some other people's videos and some of the things that they've talked about, you can make those transition cuts easy from going from one camera view to the next. If I go from forward view to a wing view, you have no idea how much I cut out. I could have cut 20 minutes of video out. It looks like a natural swap to a different view. So I'm going to try working on that a little bit better. Always trying to improve something. So that's pretty much Filmora. It's gotten easier and easier for me to use just out of repetition. Okay, this is the Movavi. As you can see, they're a lot alike. You have all your selections: media, sounds, music, backgrounds, text, different elements that you can add. They're all working the same thing. And here's again the editing. On this one, the little white box is actually the Flying Adventures logo, and it has paper airplanes that go around it. The little purple box up top is the text that shows the date and the route, and they're animated, so they fly in from the sides, meet in the middle, and then fly out. And the little turquoise looking box on the bottom is the music that goes with that intro only. So they're both along the same lines. I'm not saying one's harder or easier than the other. It's just what you become accustomed to, and I've gotten used to using Filmora more than Movavi. All right, here's some shots flying over Cape Henlopen at the edge of the Delaware Bay, or the mouth of the Delaware Bay. This is my office view, 453 Tango Charlie. And here you can see, as you can see, there's no back seat. I go in station wagon mode all the time. That's a commander owner group term. I don't need the back seat. It's only Mary and I, so I get more fuel on board. The track form, that's my bracket, how I keep it bent to shoot. I am going to mount it up in that headliner. I have to make a bracket for it. Maybe this winter I'll get to that. And the other VIRB is on the left wing camera. And the crew cam is probably the GoPro on this video. So that's how my setup is. The last view is the right wing camera, probably the GoPro. I'm just getting ready to cross Assateague. You can see Ocean City skyline off the wing. And if you look in the little insert of the over-the-shoulder camera, the front view, I'm just crossing Assateague, probably 500 feet or below, short final. And one of my favorite pictures, meals on a GA flight. This is Mary and I somewhere west of Atlanta. We were flying to Gulf Shores, and we broke out some hoagies that we had pre-made that morning, and we had a nice meal flying west of Atlanta. No peanuts, no crackers, none of that stuff. So we really enjoy it. It's been fun, and the videos have been fun for me as a hobby, and they create really good memories for us. And I ask for questions, comments, or suggestions. If you have any, please leave them down below in the comments section, and I will respond to everyone that leaves something. Give it a thumbs up if you like it, and hopefully I can do a next phase of this to make better recordings, things that I learned or tricks that I learned that I can share. All right, thanks for watching, and take care, fly safe, keep proficient.